everybody, there is a topic of videos out there that you can find on YouTube, and they have the title of Things They Don't Tell You About Childbirth. Things they don't tell you about childbirth. I started researching these videos, started researching these topics, and I'm just gonna say that I got pretty worked up about it. So it might be a bit of a different video today, so hang in there. So when these videos first came across my feed, because I talk about birth, I was so curious, and let me tell you, I went down that rabbit hole so far and deep. I watched way too many and I got really worked up. So in this video, I'm going to share my thoughts on this topic and tackle some of these things that people weren't told about childbirth. Now, if we haven't met in real life, my name is Alice Turner. I am a doula, a Lamaze certified childbirth educator, and on my channel I talk about birth. So if that is a topic that you are interested in, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you will be notified next time a video is out. Oh my gosh, okay, so many, and you're going to be tempted to Google this, or you're going to be tempted to search this for yourself, which is fine. But if you do, come back to this video or do it after this video is over. There are so many things that people weren't told about childbirth, and I want to go over these things. But I have to address something so very important as a childbirth educator that makes me super crazy about these videos. Actually, two very important things. Number one, childbirth classes are so valuable. Of course, I'm a childbirth educator and I'm going to be suggesting childbirth classes, but I mean, anything that you do new, it's great to get some education around. My family and I just went on a big hike, and we haven't hiked that far before. We did some research, we did some reading, we watched some YouTube videos. If you're going through something new, why not get yourself educated? So if you are planning childbirth, watch videos, go to childbirth education, and be as prepared as you can, because if you are prepared, things are going to go more smoothly, you're going to have more options, you're going to feel more in control of your birth. I cannot say enough times how valuable childbirth education is. So if you go to childbirth education, you are going to have less items in that things they never told you about childbirth bucket of items than many people that have gone through childbirth and made these videos. Okay, I tried not to rant too much about that. Was that too much of a rant? Okay, number two is please be cautious about who you take advice from on YouTube or in real life. In watching these videos, in my research, my rabbit hole research, there is so much bad advice. There's so much incorrect advice out there about birth, and so much is not based on evidence. And oh my gosh, my mind was like exploding. As someone who values evidence-based childbirth classes where real research is presented and best findings, best practices, there's so much that's wrong. Oh, please. So if you start watching a YouTube video from another mom who has experienced birth and they are giving you advice, maybe take that with a little grain of salt, or see if a childbirth education course backs that up. A perfect example, in one of the videos I watched, the YouTuber was saying that when she gave birth, her doctor gave her an episiotomy, and if you go to a good doctor, you'll get an episiotomy, and your doctor won't let you tear. So this is a great example of really incorrect information, that research is so clear that people heal better and have less of an injury to their perineum if they do not have an episiotomy, and that episiotomies should only be done when there is a risk to the baby and that the baby needs to be born quickly. So that's just one example of information not to trust. So if you're preparing for birth, please check your sources, watch channels that are made by doulas and childbirth educators and healthcare providers, And if you're watching a experience that is maybe a birth vlog or something like that, maybe not take everything for the actual truth. Let's go through these topics of things they never told you about childbirth. There was a lot about water breaking. Like almost every video was something about water breaking. So let's just talk about water breaking. Now I'm going to give a brief, couple sentence water breaking, and I have a whole video that I did on water breaking that I'm going to link down below, and it looks like this one right here. Water breaking can vary from person to person. It can come out as a big gush. It can come out as a slow trickle. It doesn't always happen at the start of labor, and sometimes water is broken by providers if they suggest it. And sometimes water breaks on its own, but not until late in labor. So it is a wide variety. That is something that apparently people weren't told, but now you've been told. The next topic a lot of people weren't told about was about epidurals and some of the downsides of epidurals. One of them was about how long it takes to get an epidural. Now this does vary from hospital to hospital, so there isn't an exact science or an exact time in this, but a good rule of thumb is that it often takes about 1 hour from the time you request an epidural until the time that you get an epidural. Again, that could be a little shorter or a lot longer depending upon your hospital, but it is not something that is just done like that. Now, we do talk about epidurals in childbirth class, and I have a video on epidurals that you can watch here, and I'll put a link below. The second epidural thing that people didn't know about, or they were never told, was that epidurals don't take away all the sensation every time. So it is fairly common to have some type of painful sensation from an epidural, not full coverage. Sometimes people have one side that's not covered as much, or they call it like a window or a breakthrough spot of pain. That is fairly common, that it's not necessarily just guaranteed that the epidural will take away pain. The other thing is that epidurals usually don't take away pressure. And as a baby is coming down through our vagina, we feel a lot of pressure, and it can't be taken away. So at the end of birth, when you're about to push or during pushing, it is very likely that you will feel pressure even if you have an epidural. So now you know, something I told you. The last category of things that people wish they were told is about postpartum healing. And number one, people are not told that their belly is going to still look pregnant, that they're still going to look pregnant for quite a while after they have a baby. So it is maybe something we don't talk about much in society, or show pictures of. I feel like now we're seeing more Instagram photos of postpartum bellies and people embracing themselves in mesh underwear, which is so amazing and lovely because it is reality. But it takes time. It took us 9 months for our body to change, and it's going to take several months for our bodies to go back to the new normal that our body will be, whatever that is, depending upon the person. So you will still look pregnant when you go home from the hospital, and for many, many weeks. The next one was that you will get pretty much no rest in the hospital after. Yes, this is very common. It is very hard to sleep in hospitals. We have people coming in and out and in and out. So telling you now, if no one has told you yet, that sleep when you can, because it is very hard to get rest in the hospital. You might take turns, let whoever, one person hold the baby, the other person sleep. It is really hard to sleep in the hospital. So now you've been told. And the last one was about postpartum bleeding. I saw a lot of people posting about they had not heard about how long you bleed postpartum. Now this can vary from person to person. But one thing I think that really isn't shared a lot is that your bleeding can intensify if you aren't getting proper rest. So if you are doing a lot postpartum, you will often see your bleeding increase. And it's something you can ask your doctor, your midwife about at a prenatal appointment. Ask them, how is bleeding affected? How much rest do I need to get? Can you tell me more about that? But it is definitely true that bleeding can last up to, several weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks postpartum, but always good to talk to care providers about what is normal and what is to be expected. We've talked about water breaking, epidurals, and expectations in the postpartum time. So do not add those to your video of things no one told you. And if you haven't signed up for a childbirth class and you would like to join a childbirth class with me, please check out the links below. I am now offering a couples class as well as a recorded class for partners so that they can be at their best during labor and birth. And it's called Supporting Her, and all those links are found below. If you found this video helpful, you know what to do. I really appreciate a like. It helps other people find this video helpful. What are the things that they didn't tell you about childbirth? Put them in the comments below and let me know. Talk to you guys next time. Bye.